All right, hey pre-calc. So I want to take you through the answers to the exploration that I asked you to look at yesterday, and then go through an example of using the law of sines to solve for missing sides of a triangle. Explain sort of why there would be when you would choose law of cosines, and when law of sines would come out when you'd want to use law of sines. So let's take a look at what I wanted you to do yesterday. Basically, with any arbitrary triangle I called it ABC, right? Um, you could write the area of that triangle using this any of the angles and the two sides that make it up. So any of the included angles and the two sides that create the angle. And it asks you to equate those three area formulas. So one way to express the area of an arbitrary triangle would be 1/2 BC sine A. The other one, if you want to use angle C, you'd have to use side A and side B. So 1/2 AB sine C. And if you wanted to use angle B, you'd have to use sides A and C because they constitute angle B, 1/2 AC sine B. So the area of this triangle, it's the same triangle. So it's the same area. It's the same size, no matter which one you consider base and height. So the area of this triangle, this equals this because it's the same area, right? It's the same triangle. So the size doesn't change just because you're looking at a different angle. And then, so if we equate these three equations, what it was talking about, if I equate them and then look at the sides of the equation, meaning instead of both sides of the equation, I guess there are technically 1, 2, 3 sides of the equation here because it's multiple equations at one. But it asks you to if you double this equation, the 1/2 is gone. It all has 1/2. So if you do times 2 times 2 times 2, the 1/2 disappears, and you're just left with BC sine A equals AB sine C equals AC sine B. Divide by the product of the side lengths, divide by ABC, and cancel out. And here you'll get sine A divided by A equals sine C divided by C equals sine B divided by B. That's the law of sines. That's a way to figure out missing sides of a triangle proportionally, by solving a proportion rather than solving the formula using the law of cosines. So that is the law of sines. You don't have to use all of them. You could just use two at a time, which we'll do in the example that I'll show you here in a minute. And the reason you'd use this instead of law of cosines would be what information is given. With law of cosines, it's very handy to find missing sides and angles of a triangle if you use if you're given side, 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 or if you're given side, angle, side. With law of sines, it's very handy to use the law of sines if you're given angle, angle, side. So this is an example to take you through here that gives you exactly that, angle, angle, side. So we're given angle B is 64 degrees. Then we're given angle C is 38 degrees. And then side B is 9 feet. So we're given this angle, and then the connecting side to it. It asks you to find the other two sides because the third angle is easy to find, right? It's 180. You're given two of the angles. It's just 180 minus the sum of the two angles. So this 78 up here comes from 180 minus 38 minus 64 equals 78. So you use the law of sines to find the other two sides to this. So when it says to find side side little a, that's what I'm doing right here. So notice what I did was I found angle A, 78 degrees. It's 180 minus 64 minus 38. So the law of sines says that the sine of capital A over lowercase a equals either the sine of capital B over lowercase b, or it equals the sine of capital C over lowercase c. Well, I'm going to use B because I have those numbers. I have little b is 9, big B is 64 degrees. So this is the equation that I have to solve to get lowercase a. So basically, it's solving a proportion here. So 9 times cross multiply. 9 times the sine of 78 divided by the sine of 64 equals little a. And you get that that's about 9.8 feet. Okay. So this information was given. This was generally given, right? Just took 180 minus 64 minus 38. So use the given information for the law of sines. And if you want to find little c, you're just going to change it to sine capital C over little c. So sine 38 over c equals sine 64 over 9. I'm using b over b again because that's what was given. Cross multiply, it's 9 sine 38 over sine 64. Little c has to be about 6.2 feet long. Okay, so this is again at the top. This is the derivation of the law of sines that you were asked to do, that I asked you to do yesterday. And then down here is an example using the law of sines for today. So what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to try two of them, and that I'm going to put in the classroom post, and we will go over those two tomorrow. Okay? Have a great day, everybody.